wọ́n tún kọ síbẹ̀ pé police station arábìnrin kú sí. Eléyìí ni ò bá yẹ ká parapọ̀ ká ṣera wa lọ́kan káyé dìtẹ̀ káyé gbógun tira wa káyé máa wà ṣiṣẹ́ ara wa. Eléyìí ò bá yẹ ká ṣera wa lọ́kan ká mójútó ta ni ó kàn lọ́la. Ìbéèrè mi rèé o, ta ló máa kàn mọ́ lọ́la? Kò kàn mí kò kàn mí, ó má lè kẹni tó máa fi kàn yàn ìwò nígbàgbọ́.
Well, kọ́lọ̀ foríjì sísítà wa náà ó dà pé àwọn tó wà ní Cairo ni ọ̀nà ṣaláìsì ní police station lọ́hùn. So there's a lot of shit going on around the world. The world is just a very injustice one. So mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ kan sí pé a very good afternoon. Let's just catch up. At least I need 1 hour to play with. Signal kò gíyàn dá rárá. The signal is very, very poor. A very, very poor signal. The signal is very poor. So what I'm going to do is while I'm still waiting for the signal, I'll connect a late tí mo ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ nísìnyí. Jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ ilé náà mo padà bọ̀. I have to mute this one and then release my mic, my speaker now.
Ẹ má jẹ́ kí a fi àyè gba Fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn bàbá wa. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú ọba mọ́. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú jòyè mọ́. Nígbà tá a bá fẹ́ jà fún àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa, táwa kọ́kọ́ ń bú ọba, tá à ń bú jòyè. Èmi náà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí. Gbogbo pé ra mi padà. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú àgbààgbà kankan mọ́, ẹ má bú olóṣèlú kankan. Ẹ̀kálukú ń bẹ̀rù wọn ò lè sọ̀rọ̀. Ọba ò lè sọ, ìjòyè lè sọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bá àwọn bàbá wa jà mọ́, ẹ má jẹ́ á bú wọn mọ́, ẹ má jẹ́ á ṣe wọ́n ra wọn lá pẹ̀lú wọn. Àwọn àgbà jẹ́ olóṣèlú. Bàbá fẹ́ kọ́ wọn rẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́, á gbé wọn mọ́ra, á gbé wọn mọ́ra ni. Àní bú wọn mọ́. Ẹ má jẹ́ á ṣèjẹ̀gbẹ́, ẹ má jẹ́ á dà lóru. A lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
A lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì yìnbọn.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
A lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì dàlúrú. Gbogbo protest mo ṣe ní ìlú Nàìjíríà mi ò rí ibi tí mo ti ẹnìkan lè sọ pé mo pààyàn tàbí mo tó nǹkan náà tàbí mo bá rẹ̀ jẹ́. Mo lọ bísù torí pé olówó lèmi náà tí ọba sọlọ́wọ́ lára ń dì mọ́. Gbogbo nǹkan tó lọ fún yàn lọ́wọ́ fún mi. Mi ṣe tálákà tó dé pé mo dìde fúnjà Yorùbá. Big man ni mí, àwọn tó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó súnmọ́ tó ní owó ní kí ni mo wá lọ bẹ̀. Pẹ́sọ́wọ́ ni mò ń fẹ́ ni kí n sọ yìí tí mo fẹ́. Mo ní ìṣòro owó. Àní ọ̀rọ̀ ìran mi ni mò ń sọ.
Lọ́jọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ owó ni àti gbowó àti parí
kí n wọ̀gbọ́ kí n gbéra kí n gbé mọ̀ ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ ọba àgbowó mọ̀ ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ oníbodè òfin gbowó. Kí n kójó wọlé kọ́kàn mi balẹ̀. Kí n dá wa mọ́tò kí n rìn bọ̀. Kí Fúlàní mo dàbí dúró títì. Kí n délé kí bàbá sọ pé kí n gbé tírélà sùn kí n mọ gbé lọ. Àwọn bàbá wò lè lóko mọ́. Wò lè lódò. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ká ti àwọn bàbá wa lẹ́yìn ká dá security ti wa lẹ̀ ká sọ fún wọn wọ́n bá wa fọwọ́ tì í ká lé wọn kó nu oko wa ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ Jésù Olúwa wa.
Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan dé ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wò wá lórí ibi tí àwọn young kan ti ń ṣe program a ní difficult pẹ̀lú network láti bẹ̀ yẹn so màmá monitor tí sound yẹn bá padà dáadáa a connect padà sí ọ̀dọ̀ wọn but for now a ní problem láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn young can ara development tó sí nílẹ̀ Yorùbá náà nìyẹn kò sí signal tó dáa so ìyẹn ni mo ṣe connect èmi mọ́ ara kínní. So bear with us, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ má bínú sí wa. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ọba Elédùmarè á dúró tì. Sẹ́yìn tẹ́ ń wò wá ẹ rí pé signal mi lè ń rí torí mo wà live so ká má jẹ́ kí screen yẹn kọ́ ṣòfò for now ìyẹn la ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ so as soon as tí n bá ti rí signal láti Kogi màá switch ẹ̀yin padà but for now mo ti rí signal so so mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí i. hope this one is talking. Because it look like we are froze. So I should settle down now. I want the program. Most in 6 minutes. So what? Moki Mr. Yomi Eshegoni, good afternoon. Shalafia Lewa, namesake me. Baba Olajide ni Chief Executive Unique Vote, Non-Violent for Social Justice. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, èmi máa sọ pé tó bá fi dìde èmi o ọmọ kìíní máa wà violent gidi gan, but àwọn bàbá Akíntóyè àti Ìgbòho ọ̀fẹ́ violent, àwọn ọ̀fẹ́ violent, àwọn fẹ́ ká máa ṣe ní létòlétò. Ó dẹ̀ dà bẹ́ẹ̀ torí ọjọ́ iwájú, torí àwọn kan bá dìde nísìnyí wá ní nígbà tó máa gba Yorùbá nation. Kí ló dé tí signal jáde níbí bá wà frozen níbí bá why? Mo monitor ara mi right now, so I don't know why what is going on there. Okay, what I should be doing is you are looking to move signal. Okay, I don't know why. No reason why I'm missing that. Because they were life lórí no Koikimedia no ló ti máa mú kí wàá tó kọ fún wa ní signal. Ẹ bá pín tó yẹ bá pín ó máa jáde nísìnyí, sound ẹ máa jáde níbí bá nísìnyí. Yeah, sound ti jáde nísìnyí. Ẹ bá wọ́n dà pé Koiki kéde gbogbo tó ń ṣe yìí báyìí. Technology náà ni kò sí nǹkan kan tó difficult bẹ́ẹ̀. Now torí pé àwọn tó wà lórí ibi tá ti ń stream pẹ̀lú Kogi tẹ́lẹ̀ mo ti rí signal mọ́ láti àárọ̀ ni ọmọ mi ti ń struggle torí internet connection yẹn ò dáa, so ká má kọ̀ wá fi bẹ̀ sí òfo, so tí bá ti rí signal padà síbẹ̀ again, but for now ẹ lè máa rí mi lọ́nà méjì lọ́nà mẹ́ta. There's a lot going on around the world and I want us to catch up. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n tan Twitter mi níbí báyìí ká gbé àwọn èèyàn wọlé lórí Twitter náà, ká kọ́ gbé àwọn èèyàn wọlé lórí Twitter, but ẹ jẹ́ n kọ́kọ́ send video kan síra mi láti bí báyìí. Kò mọ̀ ń gbọ́ speech yẹn láti wà careful ìrẹ́ sometimes bá lọ send kan tó fẹ́ kó send sí ibòmí. Ó kù díẹ̀ kí n gbọ́ wọlé bí kan tí mo fẹ́ lọ send kan yẹn pa ibi ẹ̀kọ́ lẹ́yìn kó lọ́kẹ̀. And the technology wa very very wọ́n dẹ̀ ti send nǹkan lọ báyìí ó tẹ̀ ṣìnà option láti tètè delete ẹ̀, tó bá ti delete ẹ̀ within one minute, that is it. Ó di pé everybody ló máa rí nǹkan fẹ́ send, and sometimes it's a private conversation tí yàn fẹ́ yẹ kó jáde sí public. ẹnì pé rà wá tẹ́ pé èrò pọ̀ tó ń bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lójoojúmọ́. Okay, now ó ní fídíò kan tí mo fẹ́ send síra mi, so tó bá ti di 4 o'clock ní Nigerian time 3 o'clock ní bíbáyìí I want program properly, so mo ṣì ní just about 2-3 minutes. Ó dà ń pa àwọn Africans tí ń dìde, so kí gbogbo akatúbọ̀ fọkànbalẹ̀. A máa bọ́ nínú wàhálà. Mr. Peter Pan, good afternoon. Shalom, my brother, how are you, sir? Mr. Koiki, and to all the honest Yorubas, wọ́n ní shalom. Wọ́n fi ojú gbòòrò gba ọmọ lọ́wọ́ èkùrọ́ lásìgí. Mr. Kẹ́hìndé mo kí bàbá wa Olúwatóyìn. No, not brother, uncle ni brother kẹ. Uncle mi kan pè mí kí n tó wá life nísìn. He has a very big institution in this country. Wọ́n wá ní Mr. Koiki message tó send ni pé everything seems to be quiet, pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀, pé tí gbogbo nǹkan tó wà quiet lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Mo wá pè wọ́n padà and we spoke for about 20 minutes. There was a lot of things we covered within that 20 minutes. Mo jẹ́ kó yé wọn pé ṣọ́mọ̀ pé ìgbà tó ti kú ní July, we had to slow down and respect, Igboho's mother. We had to bury the mother. a lè fi sìnkú ká tún gbé ọ̀rọ̀ rally síwájú wa. So those are the other things that were also, slowing things down in terms of pé a máa jáde àní jáde nípa ìrìn àjò yìí. So eventually we covered a lot of things. Ó wá jẹ́ kó yé mi pé majority àwọn Nigerian students tó ń wá kàwé nílùú yìí wọ́n realize pé púpọ̀ nù wọn wọ́n lè defend the academic record wọn. They can't defend it. So most of the time ẹlòmíràn ni mo ti graduate ní Nigeria, but in the nutshell ẹni tó graduate yẹn kò ní solid structure, torí pé ìsídà tó yẹ kó fowó ṣe ní Nigeria. So in a layman, the education system ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ti bàjẹ́, kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ education mọ́. It's not about pé mo lè sọ English kọ́ là ń sọ nísìnyí. The education system has been destroyed. Kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn náà ló gbọ́dọ̀ mọ ìwé lóòótọ́, but the structure has collapsed because education sector ni bàbá yẹn wà. And it's very pained that àwọn bàbá wo lọ́wọ́ or create a lot of at least first degree, then PhD, then we have people that have their masters, and all of a sudden all that has changed today. But one thing is that hope is not lost if we prepare our mind for another future away from Nigeria. We can still do a lot of things. We can still catch up. But the longer táwọn kan bá ṣe ní Nigeria ẹ máa work kákọ̀ network kò gíyàn dá rárá. Okay, I wanted to go live again. So ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbọ́ mi ní orí software wa, a máa switch. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ gbọ́ mi lọ wá sí the other platform because mo lọ sí Kogi nísìnyí, mo ti rí signal wọn padà. So we're going back to Kogi State where the ongoing program. So ẹni tó bá fẹ́ continue láti máa gbọ́ tọ̀dọ̀ tèmi tí mo ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, ẹ lọ sórí Koikimedia page wa, ẹ rí mi live níbẹ̀, but I have to switch this one to Kogi State because ìyẹn gangan ni program tí à ń bá lọ tẹ́lẹ̀. So I'm gonna mute this one. So I'll continue to monitor that and see how it goes again. So ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ gbọ́n kan tó ń sọ láti Kogi State briefly again.
Láti ọjà 1914 títí dáadọ́ fi òmìnira ẹ̀yà òmìnira tí ló ṣe wá rú sí ẹ̀jọ̀ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà lẹ́yìn ìbáṣepọ̀ wa tí ó mú àlàáfíà wá kò mú àlàáfíà bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò wọn ò fẹ́ rí Haúsá sójú, àwọn Haúsá ò fẹ́ rí Ìgbò. Àwọn tó sì tún jẹ́ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, àwọn náà ṣe pé kí gbogbo ènìyàn ẹ̀ máa bọ̀ wá fa gbogbo èèyàn mọ́ra, ṣùgbọ́n bá a ṣe fa ènìyàn mọ́ra bẹ́ẹ̀ là ń fa náà mọ́ra. Aṣọ onírúurú máa débi wípé olóko ò lè kó mọ́.
All right, let's pause that. So I'm come and monitoring. So once again, I'm OLAYOMI KOIKI in Unit 26. Mr. Diziman sọ pé some of our lecturers had relocated to South Africa and other Western Africa. So the education system in the Southwest has collapsed. And the reason is because it is not well funded. It is not well funded. So we are struggling to have the top notch of people coming out from our universities and other institutions. We don't have the caliber of people to defend but one thing is that mo fẹ́ mu láti ọ̀dọ̀ CBN. Something came out from the CBN yesterday, so I'm going to be touching from that area. So let's go from here. Waris Jinadu brother wa bàbá wa máa ń sọ ní gbogbo ìgbà pé àwa diaspora gangan tá a ṣe ń send owó sí náírà àwa là ń fund Nigeria, and he has been saying this now over 3 years. Ìjọba ti wá a means where we can stop using our hard-earned currency into naira. Nigeria will fold up very, very fast. But reason tí kò ṣe tí fold up is because we are still tolerating the naira. A ṣì ń lo naira. Mo wà lórí program mi sí màá pè yín tí bá ti ṣe tán màá pè yín ọlọ́run àforíjì sister wa. We are still using the naira, and the naira is not working. So àwa là ń fund the economy in Nigeria, and the CBN proved that again yesterday, and I'll tell you what I was able to pick from that. So let's go to Don't trend throughout lánàá, so I don't know whether it's still trending today. Okay, Cardoso is trending, the Naira is trending. Okay, I think I should go through to think about a refresh laptop here. But my other brother continue to follow. Ṣé mọ̀ pé lánàá we are giving the hope ahead. Brother mi ló máa fún mi ní. There's a guy called Kalu Aja at Fin Plan Kalu Aja 1. Let me give you a bit of his background. He's an author, making money, economy, and personal finance easy to understand. Just like Biashini Bishop Adesina. I know Bishop said I should have called him yesterday because he was on the field. But again, hopefully we will try and see if I can get hold of him before the end of today's program. So yesterday, Tebawa, where the CBN came out yesterday, and what the CBN says, the dollar will be sold at a particular price to the BDC. And I'm going to be explaining a little bit of my own understanding. I realize that the Naira gains across market as CBN is now selling dollar to the BDC. But I want to pick it from the... So, this is the circular that came out yesterday. Central Bank of Nigeria, Trade and Exchange. Trade and Exchange Department. The President, Association of the Bureau de Change Operator, March 25th, 2024 of Nigeria. Dear Sir, sales of Forex to the, I'll just call the full name so that you will probably get mixed up when I start using the word BDC, because Google will understand BDC. So BDC stands for Bureau de Change. I want to share owó fún yàn. Dear Sir, sales of Forex is dollar, to the Bureau de Change to meet retail market demand for eligible invisible transactions. We refer to our letter to you with reference TED DIR blah 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 in respect of the above subject, wherein the Central Bank of Nigeria approved a second tranche of sales of Forex, which is dollar, to eligible BDC, which is Bureau de Change. Most of us know that the Bureau de Change is not in care of the Yoruba people and the Igbos, mostly those in the north. So the Bureau de Change is always the Hausas. àwọn náà máa ń ṣẹ́wó fún wa. We are now writing to inform you of the sales of $10,000 to each bureau de change at the rate of 1,251 naira to a dollar. That is what the central bank will sell to the BDC, Bureau de Change. The BDC, Bureau de Change, are now to sell to eligible end user. Èmi àti wọ Innovate fi lọ sí London, ó fi lọ Dubai. Dubai ò ní gba náírà, ó gbọ́dọ̀ ṣẹ́ dọ́là sí, ó gbọ́dọ̀ ṣẹ́ náírà sí dọ́là before you leave Nigeria. That is if you're traveling to a country where you need the dollar. So Central Bank is selling at the rate of 1,251 naira to a dollar. And I guess when I'm doing that, it is important that we use the practical to show both the naira and the dollar, because many Nigerians could tell that will come on, because some of you don't even know, so let's give it to you like this. So this is the $1. So the CBN is expected to sell the dollar to the BDC, the Bureau de Change, at 1,250 naira. I don't know whether I have some little note. Anyway, I have somebody that has traveled to Nigeria this morning. So all right, I'll just use this because 500 lele, so half of this, okay? So the central bank is now selling $1 to 1,251 equivalent to the BDC. And the BDC are not expected to sell more than 1.5% above the purchase price. All eligible BDCs, which is Bureau de Change, are directed to make the Naira payment to underlisted central bank Naira deposit account numbers before the close of business on Thursday, March 28, which is in the next 48 hours, and submit confirmation of payment with other necessary documents for disbursement of the appropriate CBN branches. What Tinubu is doing, I don't know, I'm just from my own understanding, on try láti fi kan egungun àwọn tó ti di BDC yẹn mú, because for a very long time this sector has been controlled by one particular set of people in Nigeria, and they've taken advantage of pé àwọn làwọn níbẹ̀ yẹn, because we know that the North owns Nigeria, but it's the stupid Yoruba people that is allowing it, and the stupid Igbo people and the stupid Middle Belt, because if we are not stupid, we could have break the bone. But Tinubu is there as well. I don't know what he's going to do, but he's changing things around. He wants to make it difficult for them to control that sector. He'll probably do that. Then when he goes, the power goes back to the north. And then you know what is going to happen again? The northern part of Nigeria will become more powerful again, back with the BDC. Well, you cannot tell me what to use on this platform, Molelo Yoruba, Molelo English. So I'm speaking to international audience, and Yoruba is a language as well, not just English. So now, after this, I started reading comments to get understanding of what this means for a layman. So Kalu Aja at Fin Plan Kalu Aja is now explaining certain things. Number one, it says forward sales of the oil to raise $3.3 billion at 11.85% to prop up the Naira. Number two, sell the dollar at a below market price to the Bureau de Change to prop up the Naira. So we are borrowing dollar at a premium to sell dollar at a discount. And I hope some of you understand what that means. Ara central banking try láti make sure pé wọ́n ta dọ́là síta láti fi make sure pé wọ́n stabilize the naira. Okay, that is exactly what is happening right now. After reading through what he has said, I now realize that what Cardoso is doing is taking money from the money that we don't have, which is the country foreign reserve. Ó mú owó jáde nínú foreign reserve. We don't have the reserve. Intani kò tó nǹkan kan. We have probably about 40 billion US dollars, which is a peanut. So Cardoso, the Central Bank of Nigeria, is taking out of our foreign reserve to push down the naira to prop up. So is giving the dollar at 1,250 naira to a dollar. The question we should ask now is, how do we get more dollar back into the country? Because for 60 years, we've not been able to provide the kind of gigafactory. And I told you yesterday when I was in City. Let me bring out my bag. You remember that when I was in the city yesterday, we were talking about gigafactory. Nigeria for 60 years, we did not build any factory. So for 60 years, we were lying to each other that we have a country. Yes, city. You remember that yesterday we talked about Chinese battery firm that is building the battery for the electric vehicles is now nearing a deal with the United Kingdom on the biggest gigafactory. So what Cardoso has done is to go and dip his hand inside the foreign reserve of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to give the naira weight. But how do we put back the dollar into the foreign reserve? This is where they will need your money, our diaspora money. So you will now realize that what they are doing now is every time the diaspora send the dollar or we send the pounds to Nigeria, they'll need to know who you are sending the money to, because they need to crop all this money and then use that for their own backup to say, we are getting some money from the diaspora. For a very long time, they have been selling crude oil. And I always tell you about the OEC that in 2022, the output of our export on the historical data told us that Nigeria sold equivalent of, I'm just opening it up. Our total output in 2022 as a country, okay, in 2019, our export, yeah, that's it. Yeah. In 2022, the total export out of the country was to the tune of 70 billion US dollars. What gave us the majority of that fund was the crude oil at 73.7%, which valued at 52.1 billion. But out of that 52.1 billion, I can bet my life that only 10 billion returned back to Nigeria. 40 billion was nowhere to be accounted for. But it seems that Tinubu wants to change that. He wants to make sure that whatever money is coming from the crude oil is accounted for. Because for a very long time, NNPC was operating like another monster that nobody have access to know the auditing of what is going on there. But that is not where I want us to go first. the question now is, we are removing money from the reserve. How do we return the money back for a country that has not provided electricity for its people to work with for 63 years? Yes, Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Ṣẹ́gun Ọ̀nàní, Cardoso is trying to defend the naira by buying dollars. Oh my God. All right, let's go back to that Kalu Aja, or whatever, what his name is again. Kalu Aja is his name. You can check him out on X, which is formerly Twitter. So he has now told us that, number one, forward the sales of oil to raise 3.3 billion at about 11.85% to prop up the naira. Number two, sell the dollar at a below market price to the Bureau de Change to prop up the naira. So we are borrowing dollar at a premium to sell dollar at a discount. That is what is going on in Nigeria right now with the central bank. The majority thing that can give us dollar is export. And anybody can agree with me, even if you don't agree with me on the disintegration or the breakup of Nigeria, that for 63 years, we have not done enough export. What we have done is, shady crude oil that we found, and, those money were not coming back because we realized that Abacha stole $5 billion. If you work at that, as much of how many have been stolen. So, layman started asking questions like myself. So, I'm going to read some of the comments that came out from underneath that post. This person, Abdul Latif, says, okay, I want to ask, what are they going to do to make the naira strong? What are you going to do to make this money to be a very valuable, to make a valuable tender? What do we need to do? Export. And for 63 years, we did not export nothing. All we did was we were just sleeping, waking up. They were stealing the money. And that is why, if I go back to Baba Akintoye, remember what we've been treating, that says that Nigeria needs now the courage to dissolve peacefully. Let's even say that at independence in 1960, for argument's sake, Nigeria was truly the economic giant. The reason why it was that is the fact that the confederation that we got from UK heading into the independent was 3 regions. There was nothing called like 36 states where all these governors have become a very powerful, corrupt individuals. What we had was a regional, western, and the northern region. So that literally can make the argument that Nigeria was truly the economic giant, because every region was pushing something out and then giving back to the center. But today, the center is controlling all the region, and that is why you are poor. That is why you are struggling as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Iditi the federal controls the bottom, and the moment they are controlling the bottom, it means that we are operating a system that does not represent me, neither represent the rest of Nigerians. I hope I'm making sense to my little understanding. I am not an economics, but all I know is that somebody is asking Mr. Kalu Aja at Fin Plan Kalu Aja, what do we do to make this currency a very strong one? It is export, export, export. He wrote it 3 times. And again, Baba Akintoye told us that what Tinubu is doing is wasting his time, because whatever Tinubu tried to do right now, it will fail in the end, because power is going to move back to the north that doesn't understand anything more than stealing and stealing and stealing, and they will collapse whatever structure Tinubu puts out. So the best option is for everybody to go their separate ways and let Cardoso and all the best brain of the Yoruba come and design a Yoruba economy that will be striving like Abu Dhabi is looking for hedge fund and all sorts. Like I told you about a week ago, they are targeting 1.5 trillion US dollars. Awashiwa Nibi. All right, let me look for, can somebody just give me a country? I want to check their forex, maybe in Africa or maybe around the world, that you think that Nigeria should have surpassed when it comes to our reserve. Just give me one or two and I'll pick it at random within the next 30 seconds. Just give me a name of a country. I'm going to Google it. I want to go and look at their reserve in terms of this country that you think in your mind that Nigeria should have surpassed long time ago, if truly Nigeria was meant to work as we were told. If you're with me, put it out there quickly and let me just check. I feel low reserve reserve. I will not start mentioning names, but I can pick comment. Malaysia, thank you so much. So let's go and look at Malaysia. What is the current Malaysia foreign FOR foreign, not foreign minister, foreign reserve. Let's look at their foreign reserve. Their foreign reserve. So, wow. Cheese and bread. Malaysia foreign exchange reserve was measured at 104.5 billion US dollars. The layman. Okay, somebody said we should check Libya. So let's look at Libya because Libya is in Africa. Libya foreign, not foreign, the foreign reserve. Let's look at Libya. Okay, Libya, and this is Al-Wajid state that Libya maintains large foreign exchange reserves exceeding 82 billion US dollars, according to a report by International Monetary Fund, IMF. Okay, we take the last one, Indonesia. Somebody say I should check Indonesia. We are not going to check Belgium because those countries are well stable. So let's look at those countries that we think that sometimes when you hear Indonesia, say Indonesia, which country be Indonesia? So let's look at their foreign reserve. Belgium are very strong countries that we know that their foreign reserve will be very, very high, but notwithstanding. So the foreign reserve of Indonesia as at 2023 stand at 146.38 billion US dollars. Are we getting the message? Are we getting that message now that the country that we were told that is the giant of Africa, yes, it was the giant of Africa as at the time that we were operating a regional system of government. I'm not going to start mentioning all the countries again. Please bear with me because of, okay, let's check Ghana. Somebody said we should check Ghana, but after that, I won't check any other country again for now. Bear with me. Ghana foreign reserve. Ghana foreign reserve. Let's have a look. I gotta be sure what I want to say. Was measured at 3.4 billion US dollars as of 2024 compared to 2.9 billion US dollars the previous month. That is in January. But let's say in 2023. Let's look at it in 2023. Why is he giving it to me? Everything in Africa is always a different one. Why is he giving us? In October 2023, the foreign exchange reserve for Ghana was 5.150 million US dollars. Now I want a whole, not. All right, let's see if I pick the news. All right, let's see. One day ago, Ghana gross international reserve increase in 2023. Governor Addison. So let me read this article from the 3 News. Excuse me. The stock of the Ghana International Reserve at the end of December 2023 rose to 5.91 billion US dollars, equivalent to the 2.7 months of import cover for goods and services. Import is not good for a country. a country babalẹ́kì tí mo kí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ẹ ṣé gan ni sà. Ìlú tó bá import nǹkan wọnú bẹ̀ all the time, it does not help the country. We should be exporting out so that we can gain enough money. But Cardoso is telling us now that he's trying to stabilize this currency. By the time tó bá tẹ̀ rí ṣe and Tinubu complete his tenure, we will go back again all merry-go-round. That is the reason why Baba Akintoye said in this write-off, Nigeria needs now the courage to dissolve peacefully. And I'm going to read this quickly so that some of you that keep saying that we will be able to still have what we have in 1960, you will not get it again because our governors, our politicians, they've tasted a new life and they don't want us to go back to where you will hold them accountable. They don't want you to. Wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ ká hold wọn accountable for the current thing that is happening in Yoruba land and across other parts of Nigeria. So Baba Akintoye wrote like this. At independence in 1960, Nigeria was truly the economic giant and the hope of Africa. Nigeria was 25% of the population of Black Africa. One of the regions, the Nigerian Federation, that we agreed at Lancaster House in 1957-1958 was 3 regions. Region yẹn ni wọ́n dàrú tí à ń gúrò sí dàrú tó fi di pé a wá padà sí ibi tí olúkálukú wọn wá di alágbára, and we are now struggling with naira, and there is no way Cardoso would try his best to rectify the damage. This damage has been done for a very long time. What we got was a Nigerian federation. One region was doing better than all the regions. The Igbo knows that, the Hausa knows that, but notwithstanding, the other regions were doing their best, but we were well ahead of the game. And the British knew that Abamba speed yellow, we would collapse the European economy. We would not be living here just like I have lived here for 24 years. You will not live here. You will not want to japa. You will remain in the Yoruba land where we will be fruitful. Even if we have to study outside, we were coming back home. Now, coming back home is not the option anymore. But people still go home. Enyokan Roy Otigbera is on his way to Nigeria, just like they do every now and then. But the problem now is the brain power. The brain power, whether Nigeria joined the BRICS, it is too late. We don't want to be part of the BRICS under Nigeria, but we will proudly be part of the BRICS as Yoruba country or Yoruba Kingdom, Oduduwa Republic. So, níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn, nígbà tó ń pè ní federation, ẹ rántí pé bàbá kan sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà yẹn, ó ní this federation, bàbá tó sọ ní pé the 1999 constitution will not allow us to develop. It is not even about the 1999 constitution now. We are going back to the 1960 where we were exporting. The Igbos, the eastern region was exporting. The northern region was also doing the same thing. One exporting granite. The granite pyramid. I want exporting cocoa. Today, gbogbo cocoa farm pátápátá tí bàbá wo lọ́wọ́ ṣe, àwọn military gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa, wọ́n gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn bàbá wa. They changed the policy. They kept us below par, and that is why gbogbo cocoa farm tó ń bẹ ní gbogbo western region has been completely destroyed in the last 60 years. A lè fọwọ́ sọ̀yà nísìnyí pé oko cocoa yẹn ó ń fún wa ní owó mọ́. Kò tẹ̀ tí fìdí ẹni tó ní, báwo ló ṣe wá fẹ́ fún ẹ lówó? So Cardoso is doing some magician, thinking that he can turn around a country. What they would do is they will just try their best and they will move on, and eventually we will still remain in abject poverty. As at last week, Nigeria is now owing 98 point something trillion US dollar, 98 point something trillion naira. That is the debt, and I have it here on this my other laptop here. So let's go to my download. tàbá lọ wo paper ti Guardian òun lè lè ló wá wájú mi the Vanguard of Saturday with the volume 21 number 9468 March 23rd 2024 with the headline Okwama Massacre, the untold story, the fear poses, and below under that is also saying 6,931 people have been killed in the Tinubu in 10 months. 3 university students died in the stampede. In case you want to go and do a reference, because ni sọ̀rọ̀ níbí báyìí kó má rí bẹ́ẹ̀. And it goes on the tour. Federal government fresh borrowing drive up Nigeria public debt to 97.3 trillion. Our grandchildren won't rówó yẹn san. But if we break up away from Nigeria, the money will be split among the countries and everybody will go and take their share. But IMF does not want that. The World Bank does not want that. They want Tinubu and the next government and the next government to continue to listen to them. These are bomb bastard. IMF and the World Bank and olórí burúkú àti African Development Bank and the Chinese Bank and the Sukuk Bank. Wake up, our people. Nigeria must go down so that the Yoruba people can go back to where we used to be. Ẹ má bínú pé mo nílé máa dárúkọ yín because of the time constraint. But appreciation to everyone that have joined us. One of the regions, how you doing, boy? One of the regions of the Nigerian Federation, the Western region, had the most intensely educated population in Africa. Money daddy tó pè mí lọ́sàn-án. It has a college in this country. And those that have come from Nigeria to study PhD or masters, they cannot defend that qualification. You know why? Because everybody in Nigeria pays to become BSc or whatever, at least degree. Most of you, I'm sorry, most of you that finish university in Nigeria, you cannot defend it. I am not talking about some 30 years ago. You cannot defend it. I'm sorry, you can't. You know that. I know that. You can't, because the quality and the standard of that education has literally dropped to the bottom of the pit hell. So Taban sọ pé inti baba Awólọ́wọ̀ ṣe, that education that we were proud of in the 60s, we are not proud of it anymore because it is a deliberate act that they knew that the Yoruba people were moving with the speed of sound, and yet they destroy everything. They destroy everything because one more juwalo. So the Western region had the most intensely educated population in Africa, not in Nigeria. So when we talk about Africa, that means pé àwa ìran Yorùbá ní gbogbo region tó ń pè ní Africa, we were sound in education. We were ready to move the mountain, but they slow everything down for a purpose. Knew that abagbera kò sẹ́ni tó máa dá wa dúró. So what they did first is wọ́n kọ́kọ́ dá Ṣèpèrè, wọ́n dá sáàrin Akíntọ́lá àti Bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ bí a ti ṣe gbọ́ ìtàn yẹn, at least I don't know. Wọ́n náà Fúlàní, and they are still doing it today. The Fulanis are doing voodoo to make sure that ní gbọ́ra wa yé, àwa náà là ní wá gbà, àwa náà àwa máa gbé Ifá kalẹ̀, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ mọ̀ Jésù pé ẹ máa ṣàdúrà lójoojúmọ́. Má ṣàdúrà Nàìjíríà, you are wasting your bloody hell time. Anybody tó ń ṣàdúrà Nàìjíríà, you are wasting your time. Blood is already in the flag of Nigeria. It will be destroyed and we will move out of that country called Nigeria. And I even pray that there's third world war, because that will probably fast track the breakup of Nigeria. But if you say you don't want to fight, you will then wait for over 20 years of diplomacy, which eventually you will still not get it. But if you start now, within 3 years, oh yes, it will be painful. Nothing comes easy. Let me go back again to what Kalu is saying, that we come back here. But we knew that the Western region, as we said, that was educated in Nigeria, therefore we have the largest and the most solid class of educated professionals in Africa. I am not sure whether we still have that today, because most of you that are well educated, tẹ́ bá ti dé abroad, ẹ lè defend nǹkan tẹ́ gbé wá. Ẹni tó ṣe university kan tó náà ṣe first degree kò lè kọ òun gan kò lè kọ statement, and that is now becoming a problem. We have seen it. Because even the British says that the interface nursing, they were ebe wọ́n bá ń ṣe exam ni wọ́n bá ń ṣe exam ni now ṣe bó ṣe rí tẹ́lẹ̀ nìyẹn. When we have nurses that were well trained, midwives that were well trained in the 60s, in the 50s, but today everything has collapsed. Everybody is now doing, copy and paste. Nobody can defend anything anymore. Nigeria therefore had the largest. By the time of independence, Nigeria was ranked as one of the world's largest exporter of cocoa, which was coming from Yoruba side, Western region. There were also a lot of palm products, which was coming from Eastern region. The reason why Malaysia has got a good amount of foreign reserve today, Malaysia has 104 billion US dollars. Malaysia is number 2. People mix it up and say number 1. No. Indonesia is number 1 exporter of palm oil. Epo pupa ta fi ń ṣe ẹ̀fọ́ ta máa ń tọ́ sórí ògún bẹ́ẹ̀ nítorí àwa lọ́mọ ògún. You might not believe in that, but that is who we are. Ọmọ babaláwo la wa. Oníkọ́ máa tẹ̀po sórí kinní kan, but tó bá máa ṣe ẹ̀fọ́ wà ní kíyàwó ẹ̀ fi po sí. Ó ṣe ní kọ́ máa fòróró sí. So àwa náà ní, but Indonesia ni number 1, Malaysia ló tẹ̀lé. That is why Malaysia can boost their foreign reserve to the tune of 104 billion US dollars. Then there was the northern region that was also doing very well in groundnuts. And we also have other minerals across Nigeria. Ǹjẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé lẹ́ni mo rí ní òru èní ní Channels television, there is an illegal mining inside Obafemi Awolowo University. Illegal mining inside the university campus ground. I didn't say it. Ó wà lórí Channels. Kúkú sí lórí Twitter or X. Anike Telewa. Àwọn ọmọ Biafra nìkan ló ń follow wa. I can assure you that out of my almost 40,000 followers, half of them are Biafrans. Àwọn Yorùbá ò follow wa, but you like gossip, you like, Go there and follow us so that you can keep up, because I can't post a lot of things on Facebook anymore, because I'm going to close this. I'm going to bring it back because Instagram, I'm on reason for any very short time missing. So lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, I say good afternoon. We still have about 15 minutes to the program and we will be doing close up. But for now, I am reviewing the Central Bank of Nigeria saying to us that they are now selling dollar at an average of 1,250 naira to the BDC, and they don't expect them to sell it about more than 1.1% more. And we know that those that control the BDC are the northerners. So now what Cardoso is doing is taking a money from the foreign reserve that we don't have. So let's go back again and see what has been said on this thread yesterday. This takes time. Government just have to create an enabling environment for entrepreneurs to strive than export. That won't happen anytime soon, and can't just be watching the naira sink to zero. Your naira has already sunk to zero. Even if Tinubu brings it back to 500 naira to $1, the next criminal northerners that is coming will destroy. Not that Tinubu is not a criminal as well, but he is thinking that he wants to become a president that will bring the economy of Nigeria to something that we can be excited and happy, rather than pulling the Nigeria out, because if he does not, Nigeria will go the right way or the wrong way, either through the route of Yugoslavia or through Soviet Union. It's either of the both. Tinubu has the option on the table. It's entirely up to him to decide. Tinubu can decide that, okay, let's allow every region to go back and dissolve this country peacefully like the Soviet Union, or go the other way where it becomes painful, bloodshed, humanity and many people will die in the process. We don't need that. We don't need to kill each other. And for those of you that are saying you want Yoruba nation today, we don't want Yoruba nation because we are not ready yet. If we are ready, we need 60,000 men with 60,000 AK-47 to protect and defend ourselves. Baba Akintoye declared the country and we will be able to move on. Or we need 5 million Yoruba people to come out and say we are ready to grab what belongs to us. And I've been listening to the new president of, is it Senegal? Very powerful speech, very, very powerful. I've listened to his first speech, giving warning. We don't have problems with the British citizen, but we have problems with the British policy against us that has kept us below par for the last 110 years of the fraudulent country that was put together that we did not have our consent with. I don't have problem with the British citizen. So some of the Nigerians that are saying that you are going to get an enabling environment, please stop living in denial. Niri enabling environment. Lie. Every time I'll be hearing, no, Yoruba people has the second largest bitumen. Please stop saying that again. We don't have that bitumen because it doesn't belong to us. It's still part of the North. It's still part of the Igbos. It's still part of this federation that doesn't work for us. Let's pull out completely out of Nigeria. We will start using that bitumen to build a road into my mother's house, into your father's house, and then we can then export the rest. So when people say we own bitumen, I say we don't own it because your governor does not have the right for that resources. Export what? You see, this one is saying export what exactly? At the time we are struggling to grow our food and produce. Did you hear that? You want to export what? Okay, can somebody tell me what you want to export apart from the crude oil, which is the major money that we are getting out of Nigeria, according to the OEC that I told you that as at 2022, it is right in front of me. It says that Nigeria earned 73.7%, which gave us 52.1 billion US dollars. Many of the countries that bought our crude oil, the largest one that bought a lot was India. And today, Indian economy is moving very fast, but they are buying our crude oil. You know why they are buying our crude oil? Because India is producing a lot of resources that they will then end up selling. Not resources, a lot of things that they are producing. 14.1%. So in 2022, India alone bought 7.35 billion worth of crude oil, which is about 14.1%. So one thing everybody is to understand now is that we have been fooled for a very long time that, oh, we are the future of tomorrow. We are going to make Nigeria to work. But who wants to make Nigeria to work? Again, Ademola Bambi says, government just have to create an enabling environment for entrepreneurs to strive than export. I got this from the exhibition I went the other day. And that means that if I want to set up a business in America, right? This says doing business in the United States. But do you know that United States has different laws in each of those states? So I have to even decide that New York motivate law set up, Abi, Texas, Abi, California. Can you say to me now that both you at home and the diaspora, we have not done enough to come and invest in Nigeria in the last 24 years? At least I know personally that I have tried my best to, not something big, but just something small. Maybe it will give me a quick turnaround. But everything failed. You know why? Because there's no policy, there's no system that can protect me as a business entrepreneur, bringing my business to Nigeria. Àti ìwọ náà tó wà nílé, most of you are not lazy, like Buhari olórí burúkú, dead or alive, like I say, the saddest man tí kò ní ṣoríire níbi tó wà, whether he's alive or dead. He said in Germany that Nigerian youth are lazy. I don't believe that. You are lazy, but you don't have the enabling environment to tackle the current state of how things are operating. The first thing is you need a 24 hours electricity to be able to power whatever ideas that you have. Without electricity, say you where you go your neighbor friend house, go charge mobile phone. How do you then become an entrepreneur? Do you know that people in this country are using their mobile phone to transact business up to £1 million sterling? is because the enabling environment is there. So this one says that export. We can export a lot of things, but when again you don't have the enabling environment. While we are building churches and mosques, Britain is complete a Chinese battery firm nearing a deal on the UK biggest gigafactory. This is where brains are needed. This is where they need some of you at home because they need you to come and help them work. You probably get a work visa. You probably be living here because your talent is needed. But they don't need you to come here for any other reason. It's because that talent is needed. So let's read this quickly. And again, this one says, Babcock and the Airbus chiefs call on UK to boost defense spending. Defense spending in Nigeria is only kept by the warlord of those criminal military cabal that did not serve Nigerians like Buratai and the rest of them. One of China's largest specialist electric car battery manufacturer is now set to spend billions of pounds on the UK biggest gigafactory. When are we going to see all these churches convert to factory? Okay, let's ask this. Okay, we want spiritual, okay, we want to be spiritual intake. That is why we are building these churches. Okay, it's good. Then what next after that? It is time that Nigerians should start thinking. According to the Times, electric vehicle energy, the world's largest manufacturer of cylinder car batteries, is nearing the final stages of negotiating to build a 60 gigawatt power factory near Coventry. This is what we should be talking about, but we can't talk about it in a country where we have been taken backward because they knew that the Yoruba people were moving, they knew that the eastern region was moving, the northern region was moving, until the Fulani invaded the north and took off all the northern emirates, killed every one of them. Ganduje is not an Hausa man. Ganduje, the former governor, is a Fulani man, just like El Rufai and many of them like that. So if we come back here, the western region had the second largest deposit of bitumen. Like I said, what is the essence of this bitumen? It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for you. And had rich deposit of minerals. Minerals that could be used to build. We have what is needed to build the same car battery for electric vehicle. But when we don't have the enabling environment, do you think that a Chinese firm will come and invest billions of dollars in Nigeria? They are not. They might come in there. There's a guy that works with a Chinese firm in Lagos State. I'm not going to give you too much details. He called me last week and he said, oh, Mr. Koiki, àwọn Chinese tí mo bá ṣiṣẹ́, àwọn mọ́tò wọn wọ́n fẹ́ tà. And he wanted to buy one of them. He thought maybe I could just give him some money to be able to do it, which I didn't have. I just told him straight up. But the thing is that the Chinese are selling off their assets. They are now ready to just rent within Nigeria. These are businesses that have been operated. They're in Lagos. I'm not going to give you the name. This man works for them. They are selling their assets. One time, one assets, one. And how many countries, how many companies have left Nigeria since Tinubu came to power? Why are they leaving? If Nigeria had the enabling environment, kí ló dé tí wọ́n dúró láti máa operate nínú Nigeria? Why are they moving to the neighboring country and say, don't worry, we will move to Ghana, but we will ship everything you need because you are a consumer nation. You consume. That's what we do. We are consuming. We are not producing. I use this all the time. This is part of what we should be producing. We have crude oil. This that I used to clean my lips because it's dry. Do you know that this alone can give us billions of dollars every year? Because we should not allow any company to produce this when we have the crude oil. All we need is we just need the technology. We need the right people to be trained. We need the right system to work, and we produce this in large quantity. This cost me almost £1 at average. So imagine tó bá jẹ́ pé àwa là ń produce eléyìí in the trillions of it. You tó ń sọ pé oníṣẹ́ lénìí tó yẹ pé every time you are looking for where they are doing freebies on the social media, we will then be able to look after ourselves, take care of the people that have health care reason, not people that have to go outside Nigeria like Tinubu is going. Why is he going even though Nigeria is meant to be working for them? So let's quickly read this again. The factory will include a recycling unit that will be able to reprocess car batteries to power home appliances. This is where we need our engineers, but most of our engineers are all riding Okada. How can you complete a degree and say you are an engineer and all you can do is ride Keke Marua when you should be in the research center and trying to do as much? This program is coming to an end very soon because I have other things to do. The investment is contingent on hundreds of millions of pounds in the United Kingdom. Subsidies likely to come from £4.5 billion pot of aid for key manufacturing. Key manufacturing. And that is what was destroyed in the Yoruba land. And when I asked you, do we still have success? Do we still have wealth? Do we still have prosperity? Do we still have power? Ask yourself, don't ask me. Because Nigeria became one of the leading producer and exporter of petroleum in the world, earning phenomenal revenues that made Nigeria one of the world's richest countries. Altogether, Nigeria seems to be heading to success, wealth, and prosperity and power in the 60s. But unhappily, however, Nigeria lacked the inner unity and strength needed for such greatness. Because everybody has an hidden agenda. The Yoruba has their own hidden agenda, just as the Eastern region has their own hidden agenda, and the North. And eventually, the hundreds of the peoples of Nigeria were pushed together in 1914 by British, were radically different in culture, political tradition, religion, attitude to religious diversity, attitude to modern change. Until after the Second World War, the British did nothing to give Nigeria a unified existence. So today, Tim Dodd at Odutola Timothy says, export what exactly? Kí la fẹ́ export kúrò nínú Nigeria? At a time when we are even struggling to produce food to eat in Nigeria. It is why you see farmers shipping crops across the border while we fight over little. Eriko Chidi say, export of what? What are we producing that you want to be exporting? That is a long-term solution. That is a long-time solution. That is how they will deceive your father. That is how your father was deceived by my father. Well, I mean, my father died long time ago. But that is how they deceived my mom. I can use my mom as an example because my mom was told that we will be producing enough to export. Until the 90s, my mom had to run out of Nigeria because she realized that the dollar was going to 40 naira. When my mom left Nigeria in the 90s, the dollar was not even 35 naira. But she knew that there was a danger coming and she decided it was time to pack out of Nigeria and relocate back to UK. And that is how I found myself in this country, in case you don't know. So, those of you that are now on the social media saying that, no, the long time is that we will make sure that we have export. We will have the machinery, we will have the manufacturing unit that will produce what we need to send out and give us money that will then make Naira to be strong. That is what your parents were told. That is what your grandfather were told. So while other countries are moving very fast, the report claimed that 20 gigawatt factory will be constructed first with about 1.2 billion pounds price tag. These are huge amount of money. 1.2 billion. Do you know why? Because the world is moving away from that fuel. They are moving to EV. EV, electric vehicle. We will end up drinking that crude oil that we have. We will drink it. The world are now building batteries that can last longer. 30 years, 20 years ago, our mobile phones were not doing this kind of operation. I remember when I came here, we were using those small phones that could not communicate nothing. The world is building things that is changing the world while we are still here fighting each other, because that is what the British knew best, by joining people that don't speak the same language. Match us together, gave us something, but we changed that along the line. And today we will fight each other on the social media because we can't tell ourselves the truth that this country is no longer working as a body. It can fall apart and it will be strong. So when we go back to the hundreds of the people that were pushed together by the British government in 1914, even though our culture, our political traditions, our religions were different. When at the last they granted a unified constitution in 1949 to 1951 and created under it a federation of region, there was nothing called 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria with FCT. That is a fraud. Continue to say you will fix Nigeria. Your father could not fix Nigeria. Your mother could not fix Nigeria. My mom tried to fix Nigeria, but she realized that Nigeria was unfixable. She ran out in 90s. Those of our colleagues that refused to go, well, I pray some of them today, but I know their conditions. Because not that the Yoruba people were not doing business. They were doing business to the tune of big amount of money. But the northern part of Nigeria were not doing business. They were creating havoc inside the system, and those that were supporting that were the Yorubas and the other ethnic groups that made them to remain powerful because we were licking their ass. Many of them lick their ass like the one that says he owns Glow. If you go back and find out how he got that money, you realize that Babangida gave him the money. And I'm talking about Mike Adenuga. Go and look at Tony Elemelu and ask him, where did he find the money that he's using today? You will find out that it is something that is linked to one political connection. Go and look at Alakija. Go and look at each one of them. You will realize that they have taken you as a mumu, like Asari Dokubo say, you be mumu man. Because most of you, including myself, we are mumu. We have tolerated nonsense from them because you are waiting for the British High Commissioner, Katrina Land, to tell you that our PVC will chase PDP away, will chase APC away. They now put everybody their head to join together, knowing fully well that the election will be rigged by Tinubu. So today, what we got was an eastern, northern, western region. They boldly wrote conflict and instability into the life of the Federation by disrespecting obvious ethnic boundaries. Kí ló ń pè ní boundaries? Fulani ti wọlé o. Fulani ti ya bẹ̀yẹn o. It is the boundaries that was destroyed in 1848 by the Berlin Conference, that no Africa was involved. They cut off everywhere that they needed. And that is why the new president of Senegal is saying to France to toss up. If not, we will put our hand inside your ass. Go and listen to his speech. The new president of Senegal said, we will not tolerate the nonsense that you did with our parents. That is no longer going to be tolerated. But some of you idiots still want us to tolerate the nonsense that the British created. Why the British is creating gigantic factory for their own economy, for their own children and the future of their children. China is borrowing us loan and taking away our resources. I don't think some of you have brains. You think all your governors, all these bomb bastard governors that you're calling governors, all these deputy Olori Buruku, it's all about them. And they started killing themselves. I was told that an APC aspirant died today. May soul rest in peace. That's what we know how to do best. Kill each other. What is election in those states? What in Parango? What in Roy Kusirango? I gotta go now. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. That's how I can do this afternoon. Join me some other time. But before I go, let me focus here quickly. Production and export. Stop oil theft. They know their friends involved in the theft, like Tompolo, Asari Dokubo, and the rest of them. Caught stealing in the government. Stop waste in the government. All these are topical. People are easy to write, but in reality, it is not going to happen. So if you're expecting production and export in Nigeria, Omo, you will be as old as your great-grandfather. And I pray many of us are old enough to be inside the Biafra nation and Yoruba nation and Arewa nation. And if they want to keep Nigeria, let people that want to keep Nigeria, keep Nigeria. This policy is no longer working for me and you as the citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Export what? These things take time and process. That is what they told my mom 30 years ago. We are going to export, but it's all lies. Okay, we need to trade our goods more for the dollar. So which of your goods are you going to trade? When everything from your medicine, from your computer, everything is imported into that Janjaweed country called Nigeria. The zoo country. Let's look at what you import quickly. You actually import every goddamn thing into Nigeria. Is it because we cannot produce? No, it's because they don't give you the enabling environment. Because if they give you an enabling environment, you will not have to want to travel out. So let me give you the historical data of what we import into Nigeria. Now we get crude oil. We actually refine. We actually import refined crude oil that has now become petrol. That one become one of the biggest fraud that we've ever witnessed in that Janjaweed country you call Nigeria. Hey, Koiki, shut up. You can't stay in. You can be telling us this country Janjaweed. Anytime any one of you say that I sit here and talk nonsense, I send message back to your father and the one we don't die, and your mother and the one we don't die, because you are one of those stupid idiots that your brain has been used to fry akara with all this palm oil that they should not use to cook for human beings. Dumb bastards. We were importing every goddamn thing from Nigeria into Nigeria. Let me give you the total of what we import into Nigeria in 2022. A total of 67.6 billion. But it also says, and I quote, that the refined petrol, now we get them because we are stupid to allow Dangote to take advantage of the central bank by using the northern region to develop that in Lagos and become the warlord, and they call him the richest man in Africa. Dumb bastards. So let me give you some of the historical data where some of your refined petrol are coming from. Because some of you are stupid idiots. You think I sit here and waste my time. If you call me name, I will send message back to your family. We were bringing petrol from Belgium at the value of 6.83 billion US dollars. We were bringing petrol from Norway at the value of 1.64 billion US dollars. We were bringing petrol from this country where I did at the value of 923 million. Remember that there were some guys that ran away from Nigeria. They wanted to hijack the ship, and they end up bringing them here. I don't know whether they've given them papers or they deport them back to Nigeria. Netherlands, we brought petrol back from Netherlands. Import value at 5.61 billion. You think all this country wants Nigeria to break? These are the countries that are milking us, and they are not ready to allow Nigeria to dissolve. Because Nigeria dissolve, if Nigeria dissolve, why would a Yoruba nation want to take the crude oil from Ondo State in Ilaje and take it to all this country to refine for us? We will start building our own, even if it's the smallest. All these people where they do all this small, bunkery. Train them, give them the material. You realize that you don't need to go and import anything out of anywhere. We will be using the one that they have, and then the one that we want to sell, we will sell it as crude oil. We don't need to sell crude oil and then bring it back as a refined petroleum. That is part of the greatest fraud in that shit old country you call Nigeria, and you are still saying, I am a proud Nigeria. As you can say that I am a proud Nigeria. Which proud Nigeria? If people abroad say they are proud Nigeria, stop supporting them. They are born bastard. They are plenty for year. Those ones that say that they are proud Nigeria, they are living in UK. Leave them alone. You in Nigeria, there's nothing called Nigeria. Oloshi. Moke, brother me, Olanipekun. Even Russia, we are, as far as Russia do, we are bringing crude oil back that has been converted to petroleum at the value of 245 million US dollars. Sweden, 80.5 million US dollars. France, do you know that France, some of you should be much more upset than me. Do you know that as a citizen of Nigeria, if you want to travel and you don't have Shanghai visa, well, people are bad at Kololo Air France. You will not be able to go through Air France. You will go through another long route. Buy a ticket and don't have Shanghai and just go with the normal visa. I'm not talking about those of you that have British or other passport. You will realize that France is even milking us. We should be giving France that every Nigerians have the right to travel through their airline and travel to the. You don't need to go inside the France. You stay at the airport and then you board and move on. But na lie, they say you go need Shanghai visa. Oloshi. Some of you will never travel. Bomb bastard all over the place. Italy, many Nigerians are doing a show in Italy. Many of them are hardworking, but yet Italy was found to involved with many corruption. Remember all this corrupt Shell and the ENI and so many of them. They boku for another mafia. Finland, hey, where Simon Ekpa hey, I didn't. I was cool. Love you. Finland, where Simon Ekpa the Prime Minister, government in exile of Biafra. You think you can? Simon, thank you so much. As they declare Simon Ekpa wanted, Simon Ekpa declared Tinubu wanted. So, Esabu Tinubu, don't go to Finland, though. You could get arrested as well, though. You think I'm joking? You better tell Tinubu not to go to Finland because he's already declared wanted. Yes, as Simon Ekpa is declared wanted in Nigeria, he has also declared Tinubu wanted. So, if Tinubu go to Finland, they will arrest Tinubu there. The good times ahead. We are the new breed of the one. We no go hear nothing. If you think say we are like our forefathers, we are different. Bomb bastard. America as well. America also will bring crude oil. If you want to apply for American visa, it will take you 2 years. You can't even get an appointment. Ulushi. I stop talking about it. Is it Nigeria that you? Is it not? Some people will say, is it not Nigeria you are living before? Did I know the history of Nigeria before? Oloshi. If they told me the history of Nigeria, maybe I would have been one of those that would have destroyed Nigeria and bring it down when I was in secondary school. But you know what? Olori Buruko Obasanjo, bomb bastard, and the rest of them, they removed that history. And go and study English. Stop speaking vernacular. Stop speaking vernacular. If we knew what we know today, if I knew it, I would have been radical from secondary school, even from primary school. But what I did was, don't let them know, don't let Koiki and the rest know, just keep that one, keep the history. And that's why they told your father, Oloshi. How can the Oyibo people say, now we found Mongo Park? Mongo Park founded River Niger. River Niger, we don't did there before they born the papa. Idiot all over the place. I see some. Hey, are you? Is it not this country they born you before? When you all go to abroad, have I not done best for Nigeria before? Oloshi. 10 years I was serving the Nigerian community. I didn't get paid for it. Bomb bastard. So if we know the truth now, I must throw the truth away because I was born in Nigeria. No, you are idiot. Bomb bastards. Singapore will bring crude oil. So let me quickly move to some other areas. So I'm just going to mention those names again. India will bring the same Indian that is buying a lot from us, then they will return some as well. Do you see? They're helping. You know all this country, what they're doing? They are helping us to refine. But they are selling it back to us. It's not free. And it's providing job for the citizen. While you mumu living inside the hot weather, Oloshi. Sleeping with your wife inside the hot weather. Do you know what that means? People in Dubai, as it's hot, when they are there with their wife inside the room, they turn air condition. You and your wife, by the time you come out, you are sweating, and then you go out inside face my face view, and then go and have your shower. Hey? Oloshi. I am a proud Nigerian. Stop talking about Nigeria, my country, like that. Oloshi. People that are proud Nigeria, Okoya, Dele Momodu, and Easy Money, This Money, Davido, Tiwa Savage, those are the proud Nigerians. You should not be calling yourself proud Nigerian, which are proud Nigerian. Inside hot weather, they do jiggy jiggy. Inside hot weather, they do jiggy jiggy for Dubai, but inside air condition. Let me tell you some of the things that they bring as well. If you have pen, start writing it down because I'm going to be fast. Broadcasting equipment we brought from abroad, 852 million US dollars. The one where the Igbo people bring fake and original, and the one where government buy as well. The like Seriki Adi Olushi, that Hausa man, Olori Buruku, Malami that wanted to kill Igbowo and Nnamdi Kanu and Olushi Yoruba people will be telling me that we should shut up. Where's Malami today? Seriki went to brand Air Nigeria with our money. And then they brought it down, it land, they take picture, they take it back, they remove it, money don't go. Idiot all over the place. Who's telling me stop insulting? Who the hell are you to be telling me stop insulting? I'm not tolerating that. And you are not welcome. You can get out of this platform. You tell me to stop insulting. You bomb bastard. Only shoriri. For telling me to stop insulting. They are raping my father. They are raping my mother. They are killing people every day. You are telling me that the insulting one is Koni Dafuba Baya anymore. So only shoriri. You a bomb bastard. For telling me that. Only shoriri. Coming on my platform to tell me stop insulting. Abata took 5 billion. Abata children are going to France. You cannot go to France. I cannot go to France. You are telling, oh, ni shoriri in most of them. All my family and your own family are suffering in Nigeria. You are so the insult is more important than the message. Koni dafuba buy anymore so only shoriri. It no go better for you. To backbone ni shoriri. Maybe you be Igbo or Yoruba. Onyara, Onyoshi, Onyeperibe. Somebody run away from Nigeria. Binance director. They're keeping him the Kanu inside DSS custody. I thought that guy was inside this DSS custody. Only for us to know that he went to go and pray. Why not allow Nnamdi Kanu to go to church as well on Sunday? Only shoriri. Telling me to stop insulting. You think I tolerate nonsense on this platform? I'm not looking for donation here. My wife has gone to work. If you don't give me, I've lived here for 24 years. I am 6,000 kilometers away from Nigeria. Don't ever come on my platform and tell me I'm insulting. If you say that, I'll curse your father and your mother as well. Idiot all over the place. Computers, we can build computers, but rather we are bringing it back into Nigeria. If you look at the whole page of what we are bringing, let me move swiftly because my children will be coming back from school. I hope your children are coming back from school as well. Not interested in whatever your comment you put there. If not, you reserve that back and say, I am sorry. You can insult. Then I will say, well done. That's the only thing that can bring my conscious mind to you and tell me not to insult. People are raping us, they're killing us. You're talking about insult. So the insult where the insult there. Even it is in the Bible that you have the right to insult these Olori Buruku people. A bomb bastard. Packaged medical equipment. Pesticide. Mosquito. Nyam, 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 nyam. Sinter mixture. Oxygen amino compound. Those who are with inside science students will understand. Reaction and catalytic product. These are the things that they're bringing into Nigeria. Industrial fat acid oil and alcohol. Olori Buruku people for North. Hey, we don't drink alcohol, but give us the money from the alcohol VAT. That's are you not seeing Isba destroying alcohol in the North? But when they want to drink their own, they put it inside the one where they do alwala. You know the one where Muslim people they do alwala. So, microphones and headphones. These are all the things. Cars, wheat, raw sugar. Raw sugar, let me stop on there before I go. They gave Dangote the monopoly to bring sugar into Nigeria. Do you know what that means? It's a monopoly. It becomes a billionaire within the space of 2 months, within the space of 1 week. How can you say that country is going to work? I pity your father. Rubber footwear, bathroom ceramic, medical equipment, palm oil. When Babakito is saying to us that Eastern region have palm oil, we are now importing palm oil. Where's that one? Oh my God, I just missed that now. How can we be bringing processed fish? I gotta go. They're calling me now. I gotta go. all right, Mutimbo. All right, Mutimbo. All right. I gotta go, people. Sorry about that. Family come first. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye for now. So the platform saying, stop insulting. Mo kẹ́yìn gidi jàre apàdé tàwa tó máa pàdé ìyá mi Kẹ́mi Bello mo kí gbogbo ẹ má bínú pé ọ̀nà ìdárúkọ yín